Thank you. Apologies for the delay. The meeting is now streaming and live.
Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Good evening and welcome to the May 12, 2025, 6 p.m. regular joint meeting of the Bell Garden City Council and successor agency to the Community Development Commission. The meeting will now come to order at 6:13 p.m. If any members of the council should have a conflict of interest, please announce any item you're recusing yourself due to the conflict of interest prior to the item being heard. Tonight's invocation will be given by Councilwoman Isabel Guillen, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by our very own City Manager, Michael O. Kelly.
Good evening. Thank you all for gathering here. May we bow our heads and ask the Lord for guidance and strength to make the decisions that are in the best interest of our community. And I'd like to read a small quote from the Bible. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. So may our leadership continue to embody that. Thank you.
Everybody please rise, face the flag. Place your right hand over your heart and say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much for that. City Clerk, please call roll the City Council successor agency.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the council and successor agency, Barsana.
Present.
Councilwoman Guillen.
Present.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Present.
And Mayor Chavez.
Present. Thank you for that. We will now move on to the presentation. City Manager, please introduce the first presentation.
Thank you, Mayor Chavez. The first certificate of recognition we have is for Rocio's Mexican Kitchen, and I'll turn it back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Is Rocio Camacho, I believe she president, but now might be president. I don't know. I don't think I see her. No, she's not. Okay. It's funny because we just had a meeting with her last week.
Mayor, just in case, maybe we can move this one.
Yeah. Can we move on to the next item, please? The next presentation?
Yes, thanks again, Mayor Chavez. The next certificate of recognition is for Jose Luis Ruiz and Edwin Gutierrez, owners of La Carniceria Meat Market. I'll turn it over to Councilwoman Isabel Guillen. Thank you, Mayor.
If you can make your way, please. So we'd like to formally welcome you right here to the podium. Yes, you're good. To our community, and we prepared a couple of certificates for you both. I'll read them both. It says, Certificate of Recognition honoring Jose Luis Ruiz and Edwin Gutierrez from La Carniceria Meat Market. The Bell Garden City Council hereby welcomes you into our community and expresses our sincere gratitude in providing quality service to our community. We are proud to have you as a valued member of our business community, and we appreciate your commitment to providing our residents with the highest of quality and look forward to your lasting impact in our community. We wish you continued success and prosperity in the coming years and always. Signed by your mayor and your city council. And I would just like to say thank you for coming into our community and choosing Bell Gardens as one of your many locations. I'd open it for my colleagues.
Thank you so much for that, Councilwoman Guillen. La Carniceria Meat Market. First off, thank you so much for coming into our city, right there on the corner of Jaboneria in Florence. I haven't had the chance to try the meat, pero I always see your ads on my social media as I'm scrolling through Instagram, and whoever's doing your marketing, they're doing a great job. I really look forward to trying some carnita asada from there and see what maybe perhaps in the future we could perhaps do some sort of some event or something right there in that little plaza, right in that corner. I know we got another shopping center, Didi's is in front también, and we have the Shell station right next door in the 7-Eleven. So it'd be great to do something together. I'm looking forward to it, and again, welcome to the community. I'll pass it over to my colleagues if anybody else wants to share any comments.
Sure. Thank you for bringing business to our community here in Bell Gardens, and welcome, bienvenidos. Y pues por ahí voy a pasar yo después a ver si tienen un kilo de oreja de pescado, ¿o no? ¿O no tienen? No, ¿verdad? Es broma. Me da mucho gusto que están aquí. Con cualquier cosa que podamos ayudar, estamos aquí para servirles a ustedes también.
Sáquenos, hombre, es carnicería, no pescadería. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Thank you so much for doing business in our community. You know, it's businesses like yours that help our community thrive. And my family did actually purchase the meat from you guys not so long ago, and we had a carne asada, and it was wonderful. So thank you so much.
Sí. Muchas gracias por seleccionar aquí la ciudad de Bell Gardens para tener sus negocios. He visto cómo ha crecido a lo largo de los años. Es fenomenal y es maravilloso ver un negocio así pequeño expandirse a esta magnitud, ¿no? Personalmente, mi carne favorita aquí es la ranchera, carne ranchera, la recomiendo. De nuevo, felicidades y estamos a la orden para lo que sea. Gracias.
Y últimamente, gracias de nuevo. Yo sí solía ir a la de Southgate, me tocaba manejar hasta allá, pero pues ahora aquí está cerquita de la casa. Entonces, les gustaría invitar a que pasen al centro para una foto, por favor.
Si al caso, before we do that, ¿nos quieren decir unas palabras, alguno de su historia, cómo llegaron, cuántas tiendas tienen en la área, cómo empezaron, o, cuál es la historia de este negocio?
Sí. Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es José Luis Ruiz, yo soy el fundador de la carnicería Meat Market. Empezamos en el 2017, fue la primera locación en la ciudad de Southgate. Trabajé como carnicero por 5 años. Después de ahorrar y hacer muchos sacrificios, logré ahorrar para comprar la primera locación. Ahorita, gracias a Dios, hemos crecido un poquito, tenemos 22 locaciones, tenemos en camino otras 4 locaciones, ¿cuántas? 22, 23, y nada, pues muy agradecidos, gracias con todas las ciudades que nos reciben, que nos apoyan, y muy contentos, vamos a seguir trabajando para seguir creciendo.
Muchas gracias. Unas palabras también de parte de usted.
Estamos muy agradecidos, pues nos dieron la oportunidad aquí en Bell Gardens. Desde que abrimos en febrero hasta este punto ha sido muy buena la respuesta de la gente, de la comunidad. Y estamos muy agradecidos y les vamos a tomar su oferta para cuando gusten. Les podemos hacer una carnita asada aquí también en City Hall.
Oreja de pescado, ¿no?
Muchas gracias.
A ver si nos regalan una carnita asada para nuestros policías. Gracias.
No, pues sí, también, ¿verdad? Que tenemos los oficiales aquí presentes. El gerente, el Camacho.
Sí, claro, en todas las ciudades nos gusta tener buena relación. Ya lo hemos hecho para diferentes ciudades. Les llevamos carnes al departamento de policía. Eso para nosotros sería un honor. Si nos permiten hacerles una carne asada, con muchísimo gusto lo
O
haríamos.
si le van a hacer a los policías también a obras públicas y luego a recreación.
Todos.
Es que luego la verdad se ponen celosos y no quiero
No
eso.
podemos olvidar al city manager también, aquí el jefe de policía.
Al
Digo, el
cabo-
jefe de la ciudad.
Al cabo que comemos poquitito nomás.
No, sí, para nosotros sería un honor y cuenten con eso. Ustedes nos digan para la policía, para el departamento que gusten, con mucho gusto. Sería un honor.
Perfecto. ¿Qué le parece para los fines? No se cree. Pero estamos listos, pues. Muchas gracias y pues
Gracias
de
a
nuevo si
ustedes.
nos podemos tomar una foto aquí enfrente.
Perfecto,
también.
gracias.
Gracias. Thank you so much for that. Give me 1 second. Okay, moving on to the next proclamation, National Police Week. I'll go ahead and pass it over to Councilwoman De Leon Sanchez.
Thank you. Peace Officers Memorial Day, May 15, 2025, and National Police Week, May 11th through the 17th. Whereas the City of Bell Gardens and across the nation, the courageous men and women who protect our citizens wear the uniform and badge with pride as they safeguard our families, homes, and communities. And whereas on Peace Officers Memorial Day and National Police Week, we honor the memory of those heroes who have fallen in the line of duty and recognize all those who put themselves at risk in the fight against crime, violence, and terrorism. And whereas more than 900,000 men and women serve as officers of the law in the United States in various capacities, to include 51 members of the Bell Gardens Police Department, and share the fundamental qualities of discipline, integrity, and courage. We are grateful to them and their families for all that they do to strengthen our communities. And whereas on Peace Officer Memorial Day, we pause to remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice and honor their memory. And whereas during National Police Week and throughout the year, we urge all Bell Gardens residents to support law enforcement officers in the fight against crime, especially those dedicated to the safety of our community. Now, therefore, it be resolved that Jorge Chavez, Mayor of the City of Bell Gardens, along with the City Council, do hereby proclaim May 15, 2025 as Peace Officer Memorial Day, and May 11th through the 17th as National Police Week in the City of Bell Gardens, and encourage the residents of Bell Gardens to extend their appreciation to the police officers for the vital services that they perform and the dedication to the Bell Gardens community, proclaimed this 12th day of May, signed by our Mayor and the City Council.
Thank you so much for that. I know we have some of our officers present. I'd like to invite some of the folks. Oh, there it is, Chief. And also, if you want to call your team over as well.
Sure. If you guys could, sorry about that. If you guys could just join me up here. Sorry, Steve. If I could just say a couple of words. Again, good evening, Mayor Chavez, Mayor Pro Tem De La Rosa, and members of the council. As we celebrate National Police Week, I want to take this opportunity to honor the bravery, dedication, and sacrifices of the men and women of the Bell Gardens Police Department. This week serves as a reminder to appreciate those who protect our communities every day and to remember the officers who have tragically lost their lives in the line of duty. We express our gratitude to our police officers, not only for enforcing the law, but also for being essential members of this community. Let us continue collaborating with residents, city leaders, and law enforcement to foster trust, ensure justice, and support those who serve. Please join me in conveying our appreciation to all officers and their families for the steadfast commitment to our safety. So thank you, as always, for your great support. Behind me are really the men and women that make my job easy, and every day we come to work with one mission, and that is to provide the best service for the residents of this community and to protect them. So we thank you again for the support, and I think it's definitely a team effort, so we thank you for being part of our team.
Thank you so much for that, Chief. I'd like to invite my council colleagues if they want to make any comments. This would be the opportunity.
Sure, if I may. I just want to thank each and every one of you for providing our residents with excellent service. I think the police department, since I came on the council, has really progressed to a great degree, and I want to congratulate you guys for being part of that movement. I want to thank the chief for everything that he does for our community, and I hope you guys continue to grow and provide excellence of service to our community. I know that they're very appreciative of what you guys do for them, so thank you.
First and foremost, thank you to all of you. I know that some of you spend more hours here in our city than you do at home with your family. And so I understand the sacrifice that it takes to be here for our community and to keep us safe. I always pride myself in the fact that Bell Gardens does have their own police department, you know, and I know how important that is not only to the residents, but the community as a whole that comes visit us as well. And so, you know, you always have my support in anything that you may need. And I just genuinely want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your service and dedication to our community.
Thank you. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much for protecting and serving our families here in the city of Bell Gardens. It really is a selfless act to go out there and you know, fight crime, address issues, and again, you know, it's the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You know, sincerely, thank you so much.
I'd like to mirror what my colleague said. Thank you to each and every single one of you. I know since I came here, you guys have been nothing but welcoming. I sincerely appreciate and truly love each and every single one of you. Whatever you may need, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. You guys, what each and every one you do is truly admirable, and I do get a bit, you know, like emotional because I've seen you guys respond to these calls and how you guys put empathy into your work, and it's not a work, it's a passion because you guys deal with so much that we may not all see it, but only you guys know, and I know it can take a toll, so you guys are our heroes here in our city hall, so thank you.
For my sentiments, I just, you know, when folks call, you know, call me and call the community, call the council, depending on what time of the day is, really, it doesn't matter if it's New Year's, Christmas, you know, most of the staff is usually off for a lot of the holidays. The only department that's working 24/7 is our police department, right? Someone's going to make sure that they pick up from everybody from the dispatcher, make sure that when someone calls, they're not going to be put on hold, they're not going to take 20, 30 minutes, right? And at a time where, right now, where we're seeing in this area and really nationally, you know, I want to make sure that you all know that on behalf of the council, we're here to support you. The work that you do day in and day out does not go unseen. Again, you're the first line of defense when it comes to addressing a lot of the issues that our residents are going through, right? When we think about the folks that are unhoused, a lot of times you are the first ones to interact with them, right? When we talk about, you know, issues sometimes within families and, you know, sometimes things get rough, you are the first ones to go and address that. So always know that you have your council behind you to support you. I really appreciate all the work and effort that you put in and day out. And we look forward to continue collaborating and supporting you, and not only in this week of National Police Week, but so on and so forth. So again, thank you, and thank you to our chief for the incredible work that he has done in this department. For, you know, and I had the pleasure of swearing you in last year, and I think it was January of last year, and it's been one of my greatest honors to be able to have done that. And just again, thank you for continuous service, and obviously thank you to our city manager as well for collaborating. I know some of the discussions with our chief are sometimes they get a bit difficult, and we get the residents who tell us and point and tell us like, hey, you're not. So again, there's a process, and thank you for your service, and thank you to all the members of our Bell Gardens Police Department. Appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for that. Ms. City Manager, next presentation.
Thanks again, Mayor Chavez. The next item is a proclamation recognizing May 18th through the 24th. So next week is National Public Works Week, and I'll turn it over to Councilmember Marco Barcena. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Today it is my pleasure to present to you City of Bell Gardens proclamation in recognition of National Public Works Week for May 18th to 24th, 2025, and this is what it looks like for everyone tuning in virtually. Whereas public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of the public works systems and programs such as water, sewers, street and highways, public buildings, and solid waste collection. And whereas the health, safety, and comfort of this community greatly depends on these facilities and services, whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vitally dependent upon the efforts and skill of public works officials. And whereas the efficiency and the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Jorge Chavez, Mayor of the City of Bell Gardens, with the City Council, does hereby proclaim the week of May 18th through May 24th, 2025 as National Public Works Week in the City of Bell Gardens, and I call upon all citizens and civic organizations to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protect our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. Proclaimed this 12th day of May 2025 and signed by our Mayor Jorge Chavez.
If I could say a couple words. So this year's theme for National Public Works Week is people, purpose, presence. And this highlights three cornerstone ideals that motivate public works professionals to serve in their communities every day. Meeting the needs of people is what gives public works its sense of purpose. Many times public works professionals will never meet those whose lives have been impacted because when things are going right, no one knows that public works is there. Yet with or without fanfare, public works is ever present, working in the background to advance quality of life for all. So those are the theme for this year's Public Works Week. As Public Works Director now for 2 years this month, for me it's been an absolute pleasure to come back to the community I grew up in and to lead the men and women of the Public Works Department, not just in building the major $31 million aquatic center projects, but the daily removal of graffiti, cleaning of streets, mitigation measures. Just the everyday maintenance that goes on is tremendous, and I'm just proud to be here leading the men and women of this department. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Bernie. I really appreciate you sharing your words, and I see you have some of the members of the team behind you. You mind telling us who is who? And
Yeah, I'll actually have them introduce themselves.
okay, perfect.
Gentlemen.
Hi, my name is Hector Godoy. Mario Lamas. Juan Zavala. Eduardo Amador, lead worker for facilities.
Thank you so much.
So predominantly at this time, my facilities maintenance staff is here. My streets division obviously has gone home for the day. But we are ever present, and these are the men behind me are still here.
Thank you so much. I want to open up this opportunity for the council to share some comments. I'll open it up and then I'll give my comments. I always find myself, I'll start beginning talking, and then I'm like, oh wait, this is not my time to talk. I'll talk later. Anyways.
I just want to thank you and your staff. Just like the police department that I work 24/7, you guys are on call 24/7 as well, working. And, whether it be on our streets or inside our buildings, I constantly see you guys working hard, and I appreciate all the work that you do. quiero dar las gracias a ustedes por todo el trabajo que hacen para la ciudad. Sé que a veces los veo aquí en fin de semana, tarde y todo, y trabajan muy duro. So, muchas gracias por todo lo que hacen para la comunidad y la ciudad aquí en Bill Gardens.
So I just want to share my perspective looking at public works for so many years, and there's two sides. There's the side of the workers that are out there every day working on our streets, cleaning up our streets, making sure that that everything is taken care of. People like Lalo and the rest of the staff, they have progressed so much over the years and grown within the city, and I'm very proud of what they do. But it's not just an internal thing, right? We've had 2 public works directors since I've been on the council, and I want to congratulate our city manager for hiring good directors. Bernie, you've done an outstanding job, and I know that your staff is also learning a lot, not only from you, but from the person that was there before you. And everyone comes in with different strengths, and what I see is that staff really soaks up all that knowledge. They soak up all the experience, and I'm just glad that I see faces here that have been in Bell Gardens for many years, and I hope you guys continue to stay with us. We want to take care of you. We want to make sure that we give you what you need for your families, to make sure that you're happy working for the city of Bell Gardens. So I really appreciate all of the effort over the years. I'm very excited about the projects that you guys are working on. I know some of you have worked on the pool even since before it got shut down, so hopefully you'll be part of the effort that continues through generations here in the city of Bell Gardens. Thank you for everything that you do.
Bernie, thank you so much for all the hard work, and and the entire department as well. Thank you for all the diligent hours that are put into the city. No matter how big the job is, whether it's, like you said, removing graffiti or building a $32 million project, it's amazing the type of work everyone does. One conversation that I do recall and I hold to the heart was during the holiday season. City Hall was like quiet, very serene, and out of the blue, we stumbled upon each other, and I got the opportunity to meet you and one of your fellow workers there, and it was a pretty wholesome conversation. And again, I hold that to the heart, and thank you for all the hard work that's being done. Thank you.
I share the sentiment. I'm gonna compare an analogy. All of our organs, human, they're all vital. I think of you guys as our spinal cord. Without you, our city, can deviate. And I will resonate it again. You as a director, you're amazing. I hear nothing but beautiful words about you. Everywhere, your name is mentioned, nothing but good things. So thank you for taking care of our home, your home. I know this is your home, and that's why every single project is of highly importance to you. And I would like to agradecer a ustedes como trabajadores. Los vemos y no los vemos. No, like you said, there's so much that goes behind this that our community may not see. Y le quiero agradecer al señor Lamas, que siempre lo veo aquí los fines de semana, en la tarde, recogiendo la basura, cuando está aquí solito. Usted le trae vida a nuestro City Hall. So, gracias.
Briefly, just to conclude my comments, thank you so much to all the Public Works team. My background is in labor. Obviously, I work with SEIU, and some of the workers that work in LA County happen to be from SEIU 721, who happens to represent Public Works workers in the county. And what I want to just allude to is don't forget the power that you have as workers, right? You guys hold tremendous power when we talk about graffiti, when we talk about bulky items pickup, when we talk about our parks division, streets and maintenance, right? If you all are not here, right, everybody's gonna look at us and say, like, what job's not getting done, right? So always hold that true power that you have as workers, as public works workers. I know some of you happen to grow up in the city too, right? You're giving back to the community that you saw grow up, that a lot of times you said, hey, like, what's really going on behind those doors? I don't, and the fact that you're a part of it now, you're part of this engine that, makes the city function, I mean, you're contributing. You're making a difference in the society. You're making a difference in this community that you yourself grew up in. And you always want to leave it better than how it was yesterday, right? So again, I always want you to know that just the same way we echo the same sentiment with our police department, you hold just as much power. And I want to thank you for the contributions you've made. I send, I would say, too many requests on the Bell Gardens app submitting for bulky items pickup. I think Haile said that I'm a known username already at something because I just send so many. I'll go for a walk, or I'll be driving in town, and next thing you know, I see this big furniture, or someone decides to throw, or someone from another city comes and dumps here, right away. I also want to acknowledge the collaboration between our public works and our police department. You both are going into areas not only here in the city of Bell Gardens, but when it comes to the riverbed, when it comes to the railroad, when it comes to the freeway, right? You're contributing, you're collaborating with the city of Southgate too, where, hey, this border next to El Paseo, it's not only in Bell Gardens, right? It's also in Southgate, when in reality it should be Southgate, right? So we're providing the people who are there services, we're engaging with them, and you all are there, again, addressing those issues that matter the most to our community. So from the bottom of my heart, from the council, always know that you hold tremendous power and that we're here to support you. So thank you so much. I appreciate all the work that you do. Thank you. And now we'll take the picture. Okay, I know we skipped the presentation, City Manager. It's for Rocio's Mexican Kitchen. Unfortunately, Rocio won't be able to be here with us, so I'll make sure to go ahead, and I live literally half a block from Rocio's, so I would just go and give it to them. Thank you, though. Moving on to our next presentation, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Chavez. Our final presentation is from the Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control District. We have Mr. David Pellin Jr. here to provide a presentation for us, and I will turn it over to Mr. Pellin. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, distinguished council, for this opportunity to speak. Special thank you for Councilmember Barcena for the invitation. Looking forward to share. Thought that's all right there. Awesome. All right, well, I'll go ahead and dive right in. So, coming here representing the Greater Los Angeles County Vector Control District. We are actually one of 4 districts serving the Los Angeles County. We're that kind of orange one in the middle. Currently, our assessment is at $18.97 annually for single-family homes. And we don't just do mosquitoes. We service black fly and midge. So one of the reasons why I wanted to come speak to you all today is because of a growing threat of dengue fever. Last year in 2024, we had 140 travel-related cases, 3 locally acquired cases, and 14 cases within LA County. So that's the growing threat. We always still have to watch out for that West Nile virus. as well as that St. Louis encephalitis. So that's occasionally detected. But I'm here to also kind of share our way of attacking this. So we believe in IVM, which is a three-way, we call it the three-legged stool in vector control. And this is how we kind of address these mosquitoes and mosquito-borne diseases. We have the surveillance, where it's the identification of the mosquitoes, the control, where you'll see where we kind of deal biology and chemically with them, and as well as the education, which I'm representing. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the control, starting with our operations department. Right here, you'll probably see what you're most used to seeing is if you see us out there going to your house on those door-to-door inspections. Also, disease response. So if there is an outbreak of that dengue or West Nile virus, you'll most likely see one of our technicians coming to the door and servicing the area. Also, some of our medium visibility, you may or may not see us, is treating these street gutters. Also, we have a swimming pool program as well as our public sources where there are routes where we regularly make our way to make sure that we're taking care of those kind of shared community spots. Here's an example of one of those green swimming pools that we treat, and we also have mosquito fish that will eat those larvae. So that we can take care of those breeding sources. But one of the last things that we want to talk about are our low visibility activities. And so these are the things that you may or may not know that we do in the background. And we're starting with our underground storm drain system. So we work with you all in the city and open up those manholes so we can kind of deal with those breeding sources under those manholes. In addition to that, we have flood water and flood channel storm, where we clear out those debris in those other breeding areas so that we can make sure that mosquitoes are not breeding. So that's the number one thing. You get rid of standing water, you will get rid of mosquitoes. So right here is kind of a high-level overview of the activity that we did in Bell Gardens last year. So we had over 30 pool inspections. We had over 600 underground storm drain inspections. And over there to the right, you can see our total amount of inspections. So it's a little over 1,200. So we are very active. But if you want us to come out, all you have to do is go ahead and fill out a service request by call or on our website, and you'll be able to get us already funded by the tax dollars. So please utilize us. So the next department I really wanted to go over is our scientific and technical department. They're responsible for the surveillance, mosquito trapping, and identification. Also, if you see any dead birds on the side, and don't pick them up, but you can report them. They are usually a great sign of West Nile virus. So our scientific and technical department will reach out to them and test them to see if the virus is in them. But one of the reasons we're most excited about this department is the rise of our sterile insect technique. So what this program does is we X-ray, we don't genetically modify, we X-ray male mosquitoes because it is the female mosquito that bites. And then we release them some mosquito-on-mosquito warfare. So these male mosquitoes are going to mate with the female mosquitoes so that their offspring are not viable. So we're really excited about this is because one, it's eco-friendly. It lessens the need for us to use pesticides and adulticides. It's non-chemical. It results in no offspring, and it reduces the population of mosquitoes. So this is something that we have piloted in the Sunland Tahunga area, and we are looking to increase our funds so that we can provide it district-wide. But this is once again run out of our scientific and technical department. But last but not least is our communications department that I lead. These are the different pillars that we focus on. As you can see, the community outreach. We have a youth education that goes into classrooms, elementary school, and we are building up the middle school and high school as we speak. We're doing the community and the city presentations right now, And then we also have a large social media presence. So we're on Nextdoor, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok for as long as it's going to be here. So we're here about spreading education and spreading awareness. And we do have an ask for you all so that we can continue this partnership. So that is following us on our social media, if you can. And encouraging the residents to go ahead and fill out those service requests so that we can treat those sources. And go ahead and report your neighbors as well. So we won't tell them you told on them, but if you have a neighbor that has a green pool, we would love to come out and have one of those conversations with them. But also if you will add us to the city website as a rolling item so that we can continue to build that engagement in education. And with that, I'll open up to any questions you may have.
Thank you so much for that presentation. Really appreciate all the insight. I did write down some of these questions. I thought I'd never learned so much about mosquitoes, but thank you for sharing. Anybody in the council have any questions?
You said that you treat water areas. We do have a pond at Ford Park. How often do you guys go out there? Have you gone out there to see that section?
Yes, so we do treat it, but a lot of times our servicing requests are by call only. So we have those single routes, kind of if I went back there, but we have that around as one of our routes that our technicians will go. But if you see something, or if you're noticing some breeding activity there, we can go out of our normal route and go and treat it.
Anybody else have any questions, comments?
I just want to thank David. I met David recently when I was assigned to the board with Vector Control. You guys are doing a great job, and please continue to send us any materials to promote the services that you have to offer. I believe these services are important, yet they're not the most well-known services, right? And I mean, part of that you can explain it because we don't have too many pools, but we do have a pond, and as my colleague expressed, there are some concerns in regards to the pond and the mosquitoes around this time of year. So we would love to be able to promote the services that you guys have.
Absolutely.
So thank you for coming, David, and thank you for all the work that you do.
Yeah, so it was very insightful. Thank you. We did learn a lot, and I don't know if we can ask what you mentioned. I think it's very important to push your resources on our city website and our social media, if that's something that we can do. City manager?
Yes, so we have the Vector Control District. We do social media. I think we post social media efforts that you guys put out, but we have Vector Control on our key links page, basically equivalent to DMV, gas company, Athens, municipal code. So if somebody were to search Vector Control or mosquito control or something like that, you either go through the app to get to the website, or if you just go to the website directly. But we can, as the summer's coming up, and I think people are at the park more, and as the councilmember mentioned, the ponds and that, we can redouble the efforts to make sure that the services are, make sure the residents know that the services are available.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that. Go for it.
Yeah. No, thank you so much, David, for the insightful presentation. X-ray sterilization, that's pretty innovative. I think that's next level. Hopefully, you know, we'll see it phased out into the greater areas as well. So that's pretty exciting. But again, thank you so much for the presentation. And I think as we may publicize this, you know, this contact to our residents, you know, hopefully you guys could, you know, take a spin around BG and and mitigate the mosquitoes. So thank you so much again, David. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you again, David. I had a couple questions. I noticed that some of the engagements in that little platform portfolio that you showed at Bell Gardens, it was, I think, 1,255 engagements for the last year, and I know only 2 of them, I think, came out of request. Actually, someone called.
Yes.
And, you know, how can we perhaps bump that up, or I mean, you know, ensure that folks know about this resource?
Absolutely. So going back to, I would say the easiest is social media because the reach is so much faster. And what we've been doing a lot have been collaboration posts. So it works both ways. There are different initiatives that you want us to kind of support with. We can do that. But that's the first thing. And then we can collaborate on elevating on the website. I did not know that we were already linked on there. but just highlighting it there. And the other part is on us. So we love to come out if there are any city-specific events. We love to have booths and informationals to come out and just be a part of the community. I think that's that last piece. And we love to do an informational drop-off as well, so we can drop off a bunch of brochures. We're getting ready for our summer campaign as we speak, which will be basically from June all the way to November. So you can definitely be hearing from us for sure.
Perfect. Usually, what's the best time, I guess, when is this? Is it in the summer when it's like the most active? I mean, yeah, I was curious about that. And then, Bell Gardens in particular, we have the LA River on one side, and then we have the Rio Hondo Channel on the other side. What are we doing about, making sure that those areas aren't, increasing in mosquito population, or how often are those channels tested? And yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially the LA River, because that's also where we have the black fly. We are going there repeatedly because we know that a lot of times for those rivers, for mosquitoes, you don't have to worry about it because it's standing water, but any debris though that's around it, that can cause standing water. So if people are dumping trash and things, so we work very closely with the water districts, sanitation districts, and things like that. Also, public works. So making sure that our areas are clean and sanitized, getting residents to tip and toss so that they are not breeding sources in their own backyards or front yards. That's really where we can kind of link arms and support each other. But going back to those rivers, we regularly go there because we know how they can very easily start becoming standing water breeding sources for these mosquitoes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That pretty much concludes my portion. I want to thank you again, David, for coming out and sharing this information. I also want to thank our board representative on
Yes,
vector
thank you.
control, Councilmember Barcena, for sharing this and for providing this input, this update. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. City Manager, next item.
So Mayor, on this one, if you want to open the public hearing.
All right, we will now moving on to item 6.1, public hearing. At this time, I will open the public hearing at 7:01 p.m. City Manager, please introduce the item.
Thanks again, Mayor Chavez. This item is consideration of ordinance number 953 to authorize a development agreement by and between the City of Bell Gardens ZG Associates LLC, and Rodriguez Family Trust related to the property located at 6,300 Gage Avenue in the City of Bell Gardens. Zen Gardens is what we're commonly referring to this location. I will do two things. First, I just wanted to introduce, before I turn it over to him, our new Community Development Director, Manuel Acosta. It's his first day here, and he gets 2 public hearings that he gets to kick off. Before I officially turn it over, I'll make a few comments as part of the City Manager report later regarding the Community Development Department. But I'll turn it over to Community Development Director Acosta at this time to handle this public hearing. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. I am very grateful and excited to serve the community of Bell Gardens as well as the City Council. So today our Associate Planner, Adrian Flores, will be presenting this item. And again, very excited to be here with the City of Bell Gardens.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and honorable council members. My name is Adrian Flores, Associate Planner with the Community Development Department, and this presentation is to discuss the proposed ordinance number 953 associated with Development Agreement number 2024-015 for a Zen Garden Retail Cannabis Use Storefront at 6300 Gage Avenue. The applicant, Bell Gardens ZG Associates LLC, is requesting the council do 2 things. First, waive full reading of Ordinance 953, and second, authorize the city to enter into and execute a development agreement for cannabis retail use in exchange for public benefits. A little bit of background on this proposal. On April 17th, the Planning Commission approved a conditional use permit to authorize a 1,512 square foot cannabis retail use storefront within an existing 2,572 square foot commercial structure with the proposed tenant and site improvements. After independent analysis and duly noticed public hearing and receiving public testimony, the commission voted 5-0 to recommend approval of the DDA. The location is within the mixed-use zone and within a mixed-use general plan land use designation. The commission determined that the 11,410 square foot property was an adequate size, shape, and topography to accommodate the proposed use since the zone conditionally permits the use. Proposed are improvements to the existing commercial structure, a new parking layout inclusive of a total of 6 new parking spaces, including 1 American with Disabilities compliant space, including 2 electric vehicle charging capable spaces, 8 new bicycle parking spaces, and a new loading space with access from Darrell Avenue. The 1,512 square foot store would be inclusive of a 70 square foot lobby leading into a 376 square foot customer accessible retail area and an 1,335 square foot employee only space comprised of a cannabis storage room, manager's office, secured inventory room, break room, and 1 unisex employee restroom. The applicant's proposed contemporary storefront design would comply with Bell Gardens development standards and evidence how the applicant would promote community vision and with improved and updated buildings and community identity. Conditions of approval require compliance with state and local law to enforce security, age restrictions, and hours of operation restrictions. If the ordinance is adopted as the commission recommended, the DA would vest applicants' rights for an initial 5-year term with an option to extend the agreement for a total up to 10 years. In return, the applicant would contribute an annual community benefit upon the effective date of the development agreement of $100,000 and every January and quarterly community benefit rate equal to 7% of gross receipts. Additionally, the applicant must execute the DA within 60 days of approval. As has been the custom, not less than 80% of the community benefit amounts received would be utilized for education, youth, and housing programs. The applicant has offered 3 added community benefits that have been incorporated into the development agreement, and they follow as $25,000 towards academic scholarships, $8,000 towards recreation and community services department for youth programs, and lastly, $6,000 towards the programming at the Aquatic Center. If approved, the ordinance would be consistent with and promote general plan land use element policies 3 and 5, since a commercial area would be revitalized with commerce and job potential. Private investment aligned with environmental requirements would be encouraged and incentivized, and the city would accommodate local employment, property improvement, and value and economic vitality since patronage of other businesses is anticipated while residents and visitors to the area frequent the site to participate in the new commercial opportunities. The commission determined that the proposed project, together with the conditions of approval, met applicable requirements and addressed potential concerns with lighting, odor mitigation, security hours of operation, and restricted activity, and consistency with the general plan and compliance with the Bell Gardens Municipal Code. This evening, your council heard how introduction of legislative action on this development agreement ordinance could facilitate the orderly development since conditions of approval for the use address concerns. Community benefit funding promotes shared goals and vision through the implementation of youth and education and housing programs, and economic risk for all stakeholders is reduced since the timing of vested development rights is tied to annual and quarterly applicant disbursements. Staff recommends the council waive full reading and introduce the ordinance. This concludes my presentation. Staff is available and city attorneys are available for any questions you may have. The applicant is also present and would like to present a prepared presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Adrian. Appreciate that. Does the applicant wish to speak?
Mayor, before we proceed, can I ask you to open the public hearing, please?
I had opened it at 7:01.
open.
Oh, okay, thank you about that.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Alejandro Calleras. I'm the CEO for CG Bell Gardens. I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity, and hopefully we could build a long relationship with the city and move forward with our business plan and help out the community as we grow.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. All right, we will now move on to council member questions or comments. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments?
I do have questions for the applicant, so if he can come back to the podium.
Thank you so much for that.
What specific measures will be implemented to ensure the safety of students and families given the storefront's proximity to Cesar Chavez Elementary and Bell Gardens High School?
So we propose that we're going to have security during the times when schools are walking by. So we're going to have double the security from 2 p.m. Till 5 p.m. outside, and no one will be able to walk into the area unless they're 21. The security stands outside to make sure he IDs the person before they get anywhere to the vicinity.
You're saying double the security. How many security guards would that be?
I will have 2 in the parking lot in the front by the door.
Okay, thank you.
I had a question in regards to, similar to the security component, in regards to the development project itself. I noticed that right now there's like a little market that's in that corner, and then it used to be a laundromat where this is going to be.
Yes.
What's going to happen to the market?
The market still is going to stay there. We're just going to help out through the facelift to the property so it kind of all matches together.
Got it. And did you purchase the property, or are you leasing the property?
We're currently leasing right now.
Got it. And then who owns the property?
Mario Rodriguez and his family,
Got it. Is that the owner of the?
they're the owners of the full property.
But the market, do they also lease, or they?
I believe they lease it, yes.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Yes. First off, I want to thank for the additional benefits to the community that you're offering here. The 25,000, 8,000, 6,000. My question is, when would you be delivering those funds for the scholarship and the recreation and community services and the third one?
This is Paloma McAvoy with City Attorney's Office. Those community benefits have actually been integrated into the development agreement. The first payment would be due upon building permit issuance or alongside with building permit issuance, and then they would be renewed on an annual basis so long as the development agreement is in effect.
Does that mean it would happen within the 60 days or?
No. So let's say, for example, that this ordinance were to pass, the applicant signs it within those 60 days, and then goes into plan check and obtains let me back up, just kind of give you the full picture. They execute, along with the execution, they also provide you with proof of insurance and that $100,000 annual community benefit. Hypothetically speaking, let's say they go into plan check in the next following few months, and alongside with their building permit, they will then make that first deposit. For subsequent years, alongside with the annual community benefit, these additional benefits would also be due. So all benefits are scheduled to come to the city in the first month of the year. It's just given whenever the DAs are effective and when they commence, construction or operations, that kind of kicks off the first payment that needs to be made. But then after that, it's fairly on a fairly strict schedule.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councilman Bartender. Anybody else have any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, question to the applicant. Can you tell us about, your experience in this industry? Yeah, we would like to know a little bit more about that.
Okay, so my experience in the industry since the city of LA, I grew up here on LA on Gage Avenue in Avalon, so I'm from the area. So the first license I received was when the city of LA allowed us to get licensed back in 2018. And I started as a cultivator and distribution. And as that, I started to get into retail so we can pretty much get to the market ourselves. So I started my first retail store in Calexico, California.
I think there was a medical emergency that just occurred, so maybe if we take a pause, Mayor.
We will go on recess and we'll be back in 10 minutes. 7:23.
Mayor, members of the council, the meeting is now resumed.
Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. We will now resume the public hearing at 7:24 p.m. as we had a medical emergency. And we were in the portion of council member questions or comments, and I believe Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa was in the middle of a question.
To the applicant, could you tell us more about your experience in the industry?
Yeah, so retail, so we have one retail in Los Angeles. I was operating one in Calexico, California as well. I just moved it right now because we could do entertainment now, so that place gonna have a lounge and entertainment. And I operate two in Fresno, California, and also in the process of probably doing one in another state.
Another question, do you have sufficient capital secured to complete the necessary tenant improvements and the operations?
Yes, I mean, it's taken so long to get this license, but we secured capital to make sure we were able to open up as soon as possible, because that's the best way we're going to continue to survive in this industry.
Right. Another question, what's the projected time it would take, for example, to have the business, start its operations?
So at a minimum, you're looking at about 3 to 6 months, because once we get approved here, then we have to apply for the state. State sometimes takes 3 to 6 months on just the license. As far as construction goes, it's a small building, so that could take us anywhere from 2 months, 4 months in case there's a lot of issues once we start opening the walls or whatnot. But you're looking at about 6 months roughly.
Thank you. That concludes my questions.
Thank you for that. Anybody else have any questions or comments? I had another question that came up, and it's funny that Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa brought this up in regards to starting up construction and when do you plan on opening. I think, and I've shared this sentiment with the rest of my colleagues about the execution of the development agreement, right? What's your plan in terms of how ahead, I mean, there's a clause now that says within 60 days that the development agreement has to be executed. How far ahead do you foresee this? If the city does its part and grants you the CUP and grants you a development agreement, by when do you foresee you'll be signing that development agreement back?
Within 60 days, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. That concludes my questions. If nobody has any, we will move on to the final portion of the public hearing, being public participation. We will now move on to public comments for this item. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on public hearing item 6.1. Please state your name for the record before addressing your comments. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone. When instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining through Zoom may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature. Select the unmute or microphone icon when instructed. We will first hear from speakers that are in person. We did not receive any public comment cards or any written comments, and we don't have anyone raising their hand virtually at this time.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. If there's no objection by the members of the City Council, successor agency, I will close public participation for public hearing item number 6.1. And if there's no further council member comments or questions, I will now close the public hearing at 7:28 p.m. Moving on to the final portion of the public hearing, may I have a motion to waive full reading and introduce ordinance number 953 by title only to approve the proposed development agreement number 2024-015 for a cannabis retail storefront at 6300 Gage Avenue, subject site? Is there any motion on the floor?
I'll move.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Barcena and a second by Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Barcena?
Yes.
Councilwoman Guillen?
No.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa?
Yes.
And Mayor Chavez?
That'll be a no for me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. We will now move on to 6.2, public hearing public hearing item 6.2. At this time, I will open public hearing at 7:29 p.m. And City Manager, will you please introduce the item?
Yes, thank you again, Mayor Chavez. This item is a consideration of ordinance number 957 to authorize a development agreement by and between the City of Bell Gardens, Frank Aguirre Jr., and Eastern Avenue Holdings LLC relating to the property located at 7821 Eastern Avenue in the City of Bell Gardens, commonly referred to as Cureleaf. With that, I will turn it over again to our new Community Development Director, Manuel Acosta. Thank you, Mayor.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. For this item, Mona, our acting city planner, will be presenting this item for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Acosta. Good evening, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, and honorable council members. Mona Mosayeb, acting city planner, and this presentation is to discuss the proposed ordinance number 957 associated with development agreement number 2023-073 for a Cureleaf retail cannabis use storefront at 7821 Eastern Avenue. The applicant, Frank Aguirre, is requesting the council waive full reading of ordinance number 957 and authorize the city to enter into and execute a DA for cannabis retail use in exchange for public benefits. On April 17th, the Planning Commission approved a conditional use permit to authorize a 1,748 square foot cannabis retail use storefront within an existing commercial structure with a proposed tenant improvement, site improvements. After independent analysis, a duly noticed public hearing, and receiving public testimony, the Commission voted 4-1-0 to recommend approval of the DA. The location is within the mixed-use zone and within mixed-use general plan land use designation. The Commission determined that the 6,417 square foot property was adequate in size, shape, and topography to accommodate the proposed use, since the zone conditionally permits the use and the majority of the surrounding properties are of similar commercial use and of the same zone. The proposed site plans include improvements to the existing commercial structure, 3 new parking spaces with 1 dedicated American with Disabilities Act parking space, 1 dedicated loading space, 2 electric vehicle charging capable spaces, and 16 bicycle spaces, with access from Eastern Avenue. The proposed floor plan depicts that there will be a 553 square foot public retail space that would consist of a 238 square foot lobby and 315 square foot retail floor. The building would also contain a 1,195 square foot employee space accessible only to staff. The applicant's proposed contemporary storefront design would comply with Bell Gardens development standards and evidence how the applicant would promote community vision with improved and updated building and community identity standards. The conditions of approval require compliance with state and local law to enforce security, age restrictions, and hours of operations. If the ordinance is adopted, as the Commission recommended, the DA would vest the applicant's rights for initial 5-year term, with an option to extend their agreement for a total of up to 10 years. In return, the applicant would contribute an annual community benefit upon the effective date of the DA of $100,000 and every January thereafter, and a quarterly community benefit rate equal to 7% of gross receipts. Additionally, the applicant must execute the DA within 60 days of approval. As has been the custom, not less than 80% of the community benefit amounts received would be utilized for education and youth and housing programs. The applicant has offered 3 added community benefits that have been incorporated into the development agreement. 1, $5,000 towards academic scholarships. 2, $10,000 towards Recreation and Community Services Department for youth programs, and 3, $10,000 towards the programming at the Aquatic Center. If approved, the ordinance would be consistent and promote general plan land use element policies 3 and 5, since a commercial area would be revitalized with commerce and job potential. Private investment aligned with environmental requirements would be encouraged and incentivized, and the city would accommodate local employment, property improvement and value, and economic vitality, since patronage of other businesses is anticipated while residents and visitors into the area frequent the site to participate in the new commerce opportunities. The commission determined the proposed project, together with the conditions of approval, met applicable requirements